Hey guys, Cortland and Noah here today from Team Deprived, and we're coming to you with a deck profile of his prophecies.
Yeah, I run a very I guess you could call it strange prophecy build. It is a world deck, but the deck can run not revolving only off world, which is nice. It has a lot of backup cards that might be strange or different from a usual prophecy deck that you'd see. I might be tweaking it a bit, but for now, this is my build. I really like it. So tell me what you guys think. So we play the one world, obviously because you need the world. It sucks when you draw it, but when you don't, you have the ability to get it from deck with your temperance and other cards. You can even drop it with some of the trap cards that we play to your graveyard, and then you can special summon it with Book of Life, which we'll get into later. So then we play 3 Blue Boy. Need Blue Boy. He's staple. Normal summons, searches when he's flipped face up, searches spellbooks. So need to play 3. We then play 3 Priestess of Prophecy, and a lot of world decks wouldn't play 3 Priestess, but I like the 1 world and the 3 Priestess best, because if you don't hit your world, or if you do hit your world, if you end up drawing your world, then you have the Priestess to back it up. Her banish the spellbook and destroy effect is really nice, and she's a beefstick. And with some of the spell lineup that you'll play, she becomes even more of a beefstick. So you'll see that here in just a minute. We then play the 2 Justice. I like it at 2 rather than 3. I feel it's a bit cloggy at 3. You don't really want to draw her that often because you're just going to end up tributing her in end phase for her effect. So I like the 2 Justice. We then play 2 Temperance. I would bump this up to 3 if I move up to 2 World, but for now I like the 2 Temperance because, again, you don't want to draw it all that often, and with all the searching that you do, you're thinning your deck constantly, and so you will hit this more often than you think you will at 2, so I like it at 2. And then to round up the monsters, we play the 1 Veiler, because Veiler's Veiler, it's nice, and you can make some 8 synchros if need be in the extra deck by using this and Priestess, so that's nice. Moving on to spells, we play 3 Spellbook Library of Crescent. A lot of people wouldn't say play this at 3. The reason you play this at 3 is because at 3, you're almost always going to open with this card. I almost always do, or you're going to open with a Blue Boy and the ability to search this card. This card immediately lets you add your anti-problem cards to your hand. One thing about this deck that's really nice is that a lot of the spells are not only offensive, but defensive at the same time. Spellbook of Face, Spellbook of Wisdom, stuff like that. And this card lets you get those to your hand fairly quickly, so I like playing it at 3. We then play the 2 Spellbook Tower. I like it at 2 because this deck does a lot of recycling. So if it ever does get destroyed after you play it, or sent to your graveyard in any way, pitched for an effect, you can always just recycle it back using a bunch of the other spellbook cards that you run. So it's always nice. We then play the 3 Spellbook of Secrets. You need to play 3, just instant search for any spellbook card. It also searches spellbook card, keep in mind, so you can add Blue Boy off of this effect if you need to. If you just need that deck thin, you can search, normal summon Blue Boy, and get another search. So I like this card a lot. Then play 2 Spellbook of Master. I like Spellbook of Master a lot, but I wouldn't play it at any more than 2. Sometimes if you do draw this, it can be a bit cloggy because the requirements require a reveal of another spellbook card and a spellcaster monster on board at the same time. So sometimes it gets to the point where there's times that you can't use it, but it's always good for that extra spellbook title to reveal for Priestess or anything else that you need like that. So I like it at 2. 2 Spellbook of Wisdom. I absolutely love this card. I mean, this card has saved me time and time and time and time again. It saves you from all sorts of stuff. It's a quick play, so you can activate it when a monster's summoned. You can save your monsters from Bottomless. You can save them from Mirror Force during the battle phase. You can save them from all sorts of stuff. And you can activate more than one per turn, which I like because most of the spellbooks say you can only activate them once per turn. But I like this because you can activate multiple. So if you happen to have two, and your opponent just has back row for days, you can call spell and trap, and then your monster is just pretty much undefeatable at that point. It's I like this card.
Why don't you play it at 3?
I like most of the spell books at 2 or 1. Secrets obviously is needed at 3 because it's your searcher, but you do so much searching. The whole deck is just nothing but searching and recycling, so I really like it at 2. As do the Master and a couple of the other spells. I don't think it's needed at any more than 2.
Okay.
I then play, for 1-of spellbooks, I play the 1 power because power is probably, in my opinion, the least useful. It is nice giving that 1,000 attack boost, but it's more for its search effect that I like it, because you can boost over your priestess, putting it at 35, which will pretty much wreck anything you're going up against. And then when the monster that was powered by Spellbook of Power is destroyed, you can get a search off of it for a spellbook card. So I like it, but it's also, again, searchable and recyclable, so I wouldn't put it at any more than 1. We then play the 1 Fate. Would play it at 3, but it's at 1, so this card's just too busted. Again, recycled, searched all the time for days, so it's really not a problem at 1, but it's probably the best card in the deck, literally. It's great. I would never take this card out for anything. We then play the 1 Spellbook of Life, because Life is just really good. It opens you up to Xyz plays, Synchro plays. It also works with World. If World is in your grave, which you pitch World off of a few cards that we play, then you can just activate Spellbook of Life, Reborn World, add your 2, nuke the field. It's just, I really like this card. But I probably wouldn't play it at 2 unless I bumped my World up to 2. Then I'd probably bump this to 2 along with Temperance to 3. So, but for now, the 1 is really good. It's working really well. So, 1 Spellbook of Life. 2 Spellbook of Eternity. Again, it's just the deck searches and recycles, so I wouldn't play it more than 2. But it's really nice getting your banished cards that you banish off your Fate and your Priestess back to your hand, and so I really like it at 2. We then play the 2 Spellbook Starhall. Now, this is a controversial card between a lot of Prophecy players that I've talked to, or that I've watched videos on. A lot of people don't play Starhall. I personally love this card. Obviously, the 100 attack for every spellbook you activate is great, and you do activate a lot of spellbooks per turn. I mean, I've literally gotten like 8 counters on this card in 1 turn. That puts my Priestess at 33 on top of the 25 it already has. It's just great. But the main reason I like this card is because just because it's so, like, it's just a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a decoy, pretty much. You can have your Wisdom and your Fate set, and then this card will just be target fodder for your opponent's MSTs and stuff. So I like the 2. Then we play the 1 Book of Moon, because not only can you Book of Moon your opponent's attacking monsters, but this also really helps with Blue Boy. You can book him, and then when he's attacked, he's flipped face up, and you get your search, so that's nice. 2 Upstart Goblin, because draw power isn't super needed because you search, but it's always nice to get that extra card if you need to. 2 MST, because MST is MST. 2 Divine Wrath, because it's nice to negate those monster effects that are just causing you trouble, and you can pitch your World and then summon it back off life, so Divine Wrath is nice. And then we play the 1 Compulse and the 1 Torrent to round up the main deck. So we'll move on to the side. I play the 1 Penguin Soldier. Personal Tekken, because it's nice. I like Penguin Soldier. 2 Max C, because everything special summons. 2 DD Crow, because you want to get those banished cards for those problem decks out. 2 Fossil Dyna, because you don't really special summon in this deck, but other decks do, so it's always nice to have the Fossil Dyna. Soul Drain for anything that revolves around Grave. Iron Wall doesn't hurt you too bad, but it's nice to keep your opponent from getting their effects off. Curse Seal for the mirror match. Trap Stun, because Trap Stun's Trap Stun, and Gozen, because Gozen's Gozen. For the extra, we play 8s in the form of Crimson Bleeder, Scrap Dragon, and Stardust, because they're all just great in this deck. For Xyzes, we play the Hierophant, the Big Eye, the Draco, and the 2 Master of Blades, because they're easy to make. And that's pretty much the deck for me, guys. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, and favorite, and we'll see you